Good evening, and this is Jason. Welcome to 2 a.m. Devotions, and hope you're doing well. Today, I preached the concluding sermon of Micah chapter 7 and verses 14 through 20. And the first main point that we talked about is how it is inevitable that every knee will bow before Christ. And one of the references that I use is in Romans chapter 14, and I'll read it here for you. It's verses 11. I'm going to read verse 12 also, though. It says, "It is written, as surely as I live, says the Lord, every knee will bow before me, every tongue will acknowledge God. So then, each of you will give an account of ourselves to God." It's interesting when I remember Parks the other day. He said, I said, "Parks, now I need you to do this, and I'll be back to check to see if you've done it." And he goes, "Will you really be back, Daddy, to check on this?" I said, "Yeah, Parks. Why? Why do you ask?" He goes, "Oh, I just want to make sure that you're going to be back to check on this." And I knew what was kind of going through his mind is that if Dad is not really coming back, then why should I really do what needs to be done? I could tell by that look in his eye, and I guess maybe it's just because I remember myself at times where this is what needs to be done, and yet are we actually doing it if no one's going to check it? If you're not sure, think back to those math assignments that you are not sure that your math teacher is actually checking. As long as you have a question down there with looks like numbers, I'm sorry, those teachers that only check the if it's done or not actually whether you did it or not. And so there's this honesty that we need to come with is, hey, wait, not only are we going to kneel before Christ, but He's going to have to give an account for what we've done. And there's a book that I was reading, and it talked about, so what on earth are we doing here? And how can we live in such a way that we are making the most in view of eternity, I think was the name of the book. And what do we do with that? How can we make sure that what we're doing in view of eternity matters? And so often we look and say, well, there's things that we have to do, and there's things that we have to have. And God, you just have to understand that this is where my heart is. And yet God says, man, you have to understand where my heart is. And there's people around you that are in desperate need to hear about me. And I'm coming back, and every knee's going to bow, and including yours, and we have to give an account. So please make the most of the days that I've given. And so that's my encouragement to you, and the challenge for myself as well, is how can we make the most of the days and the times that God's given us, so that we might truly be able to give Him our best, and to be able to say to Him, hey God, you are worthy of the time that we spend. You are worthy of the gifts that you've given. We're yours. All of it's yours. So my challenge and encouragement to you today is that to continue to give God your best, and continue to find ways, even as it says in Matthew 25, the cup of cold water in His name, it matters. And so live in such a way, knowing that He is going to come back and check on this, and it's not just going to be to see if it's done, it's to see what you've done and how you've invested in it. So, okay. Anyway, until tomorrow night.